I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, June the 4th, brought to you in part by Zactran. Stress opens a gate to BRD. Slam it shut with Zactran. Remember to observe your 35-day withdrawal period after treatment. For more information, visit with your BI representative or visit Zactran.com. Damage to demand, and I mean, we've been complaining about this big spread between what your packers are getting paid for their product, their wholesale beef product, and what they're actually paying feedlots and cattle producers for the fat cattle. And I mean, we're frustrated about it, we're upset about it, we'd like to get a bigger share of the final product price. But the main thing that it's doing is it's damaging demand by them cranking up the price that these consumers are having to pay for the product in the end game. And you know, I saw some posts on Thursday that showed one in particular that a friend shared with me that had a small family restaurant in the Midwest there, and they were apologizing to their customers saying, we don't want to have to back off on the quality of the meats that we're serving, but the fact of the matter is all of our products, from our brisket to our ribs to our steaks, even chicken wings and everything, have doubled in price in the last few months. And they're apologizing, saying we're going to have to go up significantly on our menus, or we're going to have to lessen the quality of product that you're getting, and we don't want to have to do that, or else we're going to have to shut down. We're going to have to do one of the three things. And people were saying, no, we don't want you guys to shut down. We love your food. We love to trade with you and all that. And that just goes to show you. And whenever these big steakhouse chains like the Outback and you know, Roadhouse and different steak chains, whenever they go in there, and of course they'll do that as a whole franchise and change their menus and significantly raise the price of their meat products, especially their beef products, they're not going to go back and take them back anytime soon. You know, we know that. So when they do that, of course they're going to be able to recoup some of the money that they're having to pay the packers, the wholesale sellers, food service, to get a hold of, to get their hands on the product. But eventually, it's going to take a toll on our demand. It's going to take some people out of the game. And likely, this free money is going to end at some point, and people aren't going to have as much money to blow going out to eat and things like that. And it's going to be devastating on the demand for our beef products. And it goes right back to the gouging that the packers are doing, you know, on this box beef product that they're promoting and selling. And it's just, there's such a big disparage in what they're getting paid. You know, our choice boxes on Thursday afternoon were $340.55, and they're paying $191 for dressed cattle. And it's just too much. They're too greedy, trying to make too much money, and it's going to hurt everybody from the consumer on down in the end game. Now, we've been talking all week about JBS, and they've kind of getting back online, and we're expecting here at the end of the week that they will be almost totally back to normal on their runs in their packing houses. But and we're hoping that they have a big Saturday to try to make up some of the ground that they missed out early in the week. But, you know, the JBS has enjoyed a lot of good media over this whole Russian hacker thing and the cyber attack that they've undergone. And we believe that was a real deal and everything. But, you know, everybody knows that JBS is the world's largest meat processor now, which they can enjoy that. It's been pretty much positive for them themselves, despite their reputation on the things that they've done in the past 20 or 30 years that the consumer and the public doesn't get to know anything about. They've never really even you know, divulged that they're a Brazilian company, so all of your American people are feeling sorry for them. But you know, and I've been pretty complimentary to them about the way they've handled the situation. But in the end game, their computers have been swept clean completely. So, and we know that just in the last week or two, they've paid off a big fine due to price fixing on their poultry. And we know that there's a lot of more investigations going on, and we've had letters and we've had lawmakers come in urging the government to go ahead and finish, the DOJ and PNS, to finish the investigation that's went all the way back to the Holcomb fire. Well, JBS's computers have been swept clean. So they're not going to have any data probably that they're going to want to divulge going back that far. So we'll see how that comes into play. I'm en route to Nashville, Tennessee for the Livestock Marketing Association's conference, and with that they always have the World Championship Livestock Auctioneer Contest. Weren't able to have that last year, so my good friend Russell Sleep from Bedford, Iowa, has been holding the title for 2 years now, and I talked to him at St. Joe's last sale there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was about ready to give it up. He said, it's been wonderful, but I'm about ready to hand it off to somebody else. And I've got a lot of good friends that are vying for that title, and going down there to root them on and just rub elbows with the Livestock Marketing Association industry and be there to support LMA and everything that goes with. So I'll be on our next visit to start the week out, and they're not actually having the contest until Monday. So when you see the next visit here to start the day out Monday, I'll give you an update of kind of what's going on at the Livestock Marketing Association conference, and a little more information about the World Champion Livestock Auctioneer Contest. Let's look at the board on Thursday. June live cattle down 35 cents, 116.77. August was down 72 at 118.52, and on the back months of your live cattle, they were down a quarter to up $1.02. Now your technicals are not good for nearby live cattle futures going forward here. I don't talk too much about the charts and the technicals that go with. I've studied that way back, 25 years ago whenever I was in college. But I'm not going to give you a talk on that. But I have talked to people that say they haven't taken out the levels that they need to, and our technicals are not really good for nearby live cattle. So just keep that in mind. Feeder cattle contracts, August up 62 cents at 152.95. September's up 70 at 155.50 on Thursday, and your back months were very positive, up 87 to up 292, and that's likely because corn was down some on Thursday, and corn is at a negative this week so far. We were down big. They took a lot of it back and down moderately. I say moderately. 13 cents would have been a huge move, months ago, but now it's not that big of a deal. But look at Chicago Board of Trade grain futures. Corn old crop July down 13 cents at 662. December new crop down 6 1/4 at 566.5 cents per bushel. Soybeans, July old crop down 13 1/4 at 1549 1/4. November down 10 1/4 at 1403.5. Look at your fat cattle trade, and we're continuing with the steady charity bids. We didn't negotiate these bids from your packers. They were just they ran out of gall on the $1,300 a head or a carcass that they're making on these cattle, and so they're just kind of going with the flow here. They know a lot of eyeballs are on them from Washington D.C. To Chicago to all over the country, and they just don't want to make any more of a big deal out of it. So it's not going to hurt them a bit to continue with the steady charity bids, but guys are glad to get them, especially with your spot June live cattle being down pretty much all week here, and they've got a pretty nice basis, so the guys are just taking the charity bids, grabbing the basis on their hedge and going forward. But look at some of your trades. On Thursday, Iowa sold 5,500 head confirmed. They've sold a little over 19,000 for the week, so getting close to normal there, but they could sure sell a few more here on Friday. 118 to 121 live, 189 to 193 dressed. That's basically steady. Nebraska kind of short on Thursday, just 3,200 head confirmed, and just under 15,000 for the week. So they need to sell quite a few more in Nebraska, and that's really where your packers need to buy cattle, is your short market ready area there in Nebraska. But live sales all at 120, dress sales all at 191, and that's pretty much all it's been there in Nebraska this week, and that would be steady. Kansas had light trade, 2,800 head confirmed on Thursday. 6,300 head is all for the week, so they need to sell cattle on Friday also. Live sales from 119 to 120. Texas did not confirm a hoof traded on Thursday, and only 3,000 head for the week. So you got a lot of work to do in Texas, quite a bit of work to do in Kansas, and more work to do in Nebraska, and likely a little more in Iowa too. Colorado, the confidentiality rules have prevented us from seeing anything in Colorado, and it's likely because JBS is out of the market there, so they only had one packer that was doing any buying in Colorado, but we can't see any of it, and that's something that we need to work on when we reauthorize mandatory price reporting here late in September. Let's talk about your box beef cutout values. They were slightly higher again. I mean, they're still at these astronomical levels, especially when you compare back to what your finished cattle are bringing. But choice cuts on Thursday afternoon, $340.55. That was up 39 cents compared to Wednesday's close. And selects at $313.16, up $1.28. Your slaughter, this is pretty significant here. We had 120,000 that that we estimated for Thursday, so that's getting kind of close back to normal levels. Now they had estimated about 105 for Wednesday, but come back in and corrected that, like I told you on the last visit that they would. Actually, we only slaughtered 81,000 on Wednesday, and that would have been mostly all your JBS plants, so they didn't get along as good on Wednesday as we thought they did. We're hoping to do a whole lot better on Thursday, which has already happened, but we don't know what it is for sure till they give us the correction on there. But for the week so far through Thursday, 321,000, and that's going to be adjusted a little bit compared to 478 last week and 453 same week a year ago. Now this is significant. Your actual slaughter information came in for the week ending May the 22nd, and your average dressed steer carcass weight was 888 pounds. It plunged 6 pounds from the last report. So that's significant. We've been waiting for these carcass weights to drop some, and you know, a pound or two here, and then they go up, back up a pound or two, but down 6 pounds. That's very, very significant for your week ending May the 22nd. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the day on Thursday sitting at 138.43 based on an 800-pound steer. That was up $1.14 compared to the end of trading on Wednesday. Very significant. And I tell you what, that we are selling these feeders right along this week, right in the face of this black swan that we've been dealing with, right in the face of pretty much struggling futures here, and not the best fundamental news. But we're about to run out of these, going right into the feed yard, feeder weight cattle, and guys have empty pens they want to fill, and they want to get those. They want to get their inventories up pretty good before we completely run out of these cattle. Now, you start taking cattle off wheat much into June, you're running into a problem. And I'm sure there's been some areas, and there's going to be some cattle where it was too muddy to get them out. You need to be getting these cattle out of there. That wheat's heading out, and you're asking for problems. When you got that tough wheat with ripe heads on it, it can really cause some problems, splintering in the cattle's mouths and causing some lump jaw and things like that. And if they haven't got those cattle off of that graze out wheat, they sure want to or need to quick as they can. But look at some of your big sales on Thursday. Winter livestock, Pratt, Kansas, 2,400 head, and they likely would have had a few more. And I think there was probably some wet places where they were going to struggle to get a truck in to get those cattle out. but the market was fantastic. Feeder steers $4 to $10 higher for Steve Stratford and the gang there at Pratt. Feeder heifers $2 to $4 higher. Calves were not well tested, and really not any reason for guys to be bringing calves in this time of year in that country anyway. But look at a top quote out of Pratt Livestock. 65 head, 838 pound steers bring 144. Now that's getting up into the 8s. Our real-time index, which is a 7-day moving average, just under 138.5, and those cattle bring 144. Wow. How about Bluegrass Stockyard South, Stanford, Kentucky? Excellent, excellent quote east of the Mississippi there. 117 head, 855 pound steers bring 137.50. How about Mitchell, South Dakota? Mitchell Livestock sold 64 head of 810 pound steers at 145.75. Big time quote and well over what your index levels are. Talked to Jeff Azalea and Jeff and Rebecca Azaleas there that have Durant Stockyards, or Durant. I always mess that up. It's Durant, Oklahoma, Durant Stockyards. He gave me a heads up on a big time quote on some big steers he had there on Thursday. 108 head, 1,032 pound steers in Durant, Oklahoma bring 126.80. Great sale. Congratulations to them. But the best quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday in your Zach Tran top quote for the day come out of Clarinda Livestock Auction. John Anderson, Frank Hepker, some of the gang from St. Joe has moved up there. 58 head, 799, throw your gum in the ring, 800 pounds. That's what our index is based on, 149.75. That's your feeder flash for Friday.